All right, let's dive into something every Java developer has to master. How do you get your application to talk to a database? Today, we're building that essential bridge, the JDBC bridge, that connects your code to your data. So think about it for a second. Your Java code is all about objects and methods, right? But your database? It only speaks SQL. They're speaking completely different languages. So how on earth do they communicate? How does your app actually send a query to something like MySQL or Oracle and then understand the data it gets back?
Well, the answer is JDBC, which stands for Java Database Connectivity. The best way to think about it is like a universal travel adapter. You know, you have one adapter that lets you plug into any outlet in the world? JDBC is that for your code. It's a standard API built right into the java.sql package that translates between Java and pretty much any database out there.
So here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll break down the 5-step workflow. That's the key. Then we'll cover connecting, executing your SQL, and handling the results. And stick around because we'll finish with a super quick review to nail down everything you need to know for your exam.
Okay, pay attention here because this is the absolute heart of JDBC. Every single time you connect to a database, you're going to follow this exact same 5-step roadmap. If you can memorize this sequence, you've honestly mastered like 90% of what you need to know.
And here it is. It's 5 simple steps. 1. Load the driver. 2. Get the connection. 3. Create a statement. 4. Execute the SQL. And 5. Process the results. Super logical, right? We're going to go through each one of these in detail, but just getting this roadmap in your head is the first big win.
All right, let's get our hands dirty and start with the first 2 steps. This is all about getting your foot in the door and opening up that line of communication with the database.
Step 1. Load the driver. This line of code, class.forName, might look a little weird, but all it's doing is telling Java, hey, go find and load the specific translator for the database I want to talk to. In this case, it's the MySQL driver. If you were using Oracle or something else, you just pop its unique driver name in there instead.
Okay, driver's loaded. Now for step 2, get the connection. We use something called the DriverManager and its getConnection method. This needs 3 crucial pieces of information: the URL of the database, your username, and your password. Get those right, and boom, you get a connection object back. That's your live, open channel to the database. Now, you really want to pay attention to this URL string, because I'm telling you, this is where most people make a mistake. It's got a specific structure. You've got the protocol part, JDBC/MySQL/, then the server address and port, like localhost 3306. And finally, the name of the actual database you want to use, /test. A single typo in this string and your connection will fail, every time.
So we're in. We have a live connection. Now for the fun part, actually doing something. Steps 3 and 4 are where we build our SQL command and send it over.
Step 3 is to create a statement object. It's super simple. You just take your connection object and call createStatement. I like to think of the statement as the delivery truck. It's the thing that's going to carry your SQL query from your Java code over to the database. And now, step 4, executing the SQL. Okay, if you're studying for an exam, listen up, because this is a guaranteed question. There are 2 main methods, and you absolutely have to know when to use which. If you're running a select query, anything where you expect data back, you use execute query. That gives you a result set. But if you're changing data with insert, update, or delete, you use execute update. That one just returns a number, telling you how many rows you changed.
So that basic statement object we just talked about, it works. But honestly, in any real-world code, you're almost always going to use its much smarter, much safer big brother, the pre-statement. And there are some huge reasons why, especially when it comes to security.
And this is the big one. The standard statement is wide open to a huge security hole called SQL injection. That's where a clever attacker could type malicious code into, say, a login form and trick your database. But a pre-prepared statement is designed to stop this cold. It precompiles the SQL command and then just plugs in the user's input as simple data. It never lets that input become part of the command itself. This one feature alone is why you should pretty much always choose pre-prepared statement.
Okay, so we've connected, we've sent our command. What's next? Well, it's the final piece of the puzzle, step 5. This is the payoff, actually getting and using the data that the database sent back.
Remember how execute query gives you a result set? So what is that?
Just think of it like a temporary table of your results, living inside your application's memory. It has all the rows and columns you asked for, and it comes with a little pointer, called a cursor, that starts out positioned just before the very first row.
And this is the classic way you get the data out of it. You use this while loop. The magic is in rs.next. Every time the loop runs, it tries to move that cursor to the next row. If it succeeds, it returns true, and your code inside the loop runs. Inside, you can grab data from that row using methods like getStringName or getIntMarks. The loop just keeps going, row by row, until rs.next can't find any more rows and returns false. Simple as that.
Okay, one last thing, and this is non-negotiable. Connecting to a database is, well, it's kind of fragile. The network could go down, the password could be wrong, you could have a typo in your SQL. Anything can happen. That's why you absolutely must wrap all your JDBC code in a try-catch block. You need to be ready to catch an SQL exception, because trust me, you will see them. Do not skip this step.
Okay, that was a lot, I know. So let's do a super fast, quick-fire review to make sure the most important stuff really sticks. Ready? Here we go. The 5-step workflow is your Bible. The 3 big interfaces you need to know are connection, statement, and ResultSet. Always, always, always prefer pre-prepared statement to stop SQL injection. Execute query is for select. Execute update is for everything else that changes data. The while rs.next loop is how you read your results. Everything we talked about lives in the java.sql package. And finally, wrap it all in a try-catch block. Got it? Good.
And that's JDBC in a nutshell. It's more than just an API, right? It's the key that unlocks the power of data for your Java applications. It turns a standalone program into something that can talk to huge, complex databases. So now that you know how to build that bridge, what amazing things are you going to build?